particular broadcast. So we've hit record. We're going into presentation mode. Everybody, welcome. So my name is Kris Hanks. I'm here hailing from coastal Carolina. I have the pleasure to be here and actually expedite this call for KGX this evening. Some of the things you're going to hear tonight will blow your mind. Get your pen and paper out. Stephen is ready to be brutally honest and lay a lot of stuff on the little table. So without further ado, Stephen, I want to get this call started by saying thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for all the things that you do, both in front of the screen and behind the screen for all of us. And I'm just going to jump right in, Stephen, and just talk to you just like I told you I would earlier today, brutally honest. You know, a lot of people have been saying, hey, we haven't heard from Stephen. Where's he at? What's he doing? You know, it's been a while. I think one person threw out a time frame of about a month since they heard from you. I didn't realize it's been that long, brother. So it just seems like there might be an elephant in the room, and we kind of would like to know what's been going on.
Okay, well, I've been here in the background, and I've been waiting because there's been a transition, and it's actually been taking place for 2 or 3 months. But we're to the point now where we can begin to discuss that. And you said the elephant, and so let's just get past that. It could be cryptogenics.
All right.
There's myself, Mike Boggs, and Will Fajetman. Kathy and Jeremy Keene have decided to go and do other ventures, and we wish them well. So I hope that gets rid of the elephant in the room. Is that okay, Kris?
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate that. So, you know, Stephen, our relationship is what I would call a new one in a lot of ways. But in this industry, a year is a really long time. And we've spent a lot of time together, you and I have, and both behind the scenes and on the screen. And, you know, I've known you now to talk about a lot of things that are really important, really, really important to you and your heart and soul. And one of those things is finances. And you talk about it being so critical and so vital to a company. Can you talk to us a little bit about KGX's critical finances?
Yes. Well, KGX, I'm glad you said it that way because we are KGX, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But, you know, a lot of companies get started. A lot of guys have great ideas, and they're wonderful ideas. But if they don't have the proper financing, they'll never see the light of day. They may go 2 months, they may go 3 months, they may go 4 months, and then they go out of business. And that was the first thing we talked about back in January was we were going to make sure that this company was financially secure for a very long time, or I wanted no part of it. And the reason I want to say that is because no one should expose anyone to someone like that. I shouldn't lead you down a road that the road doesn't continue. I can't be the end of the road. And so what that means is a company has to have a great idea. We have the global Bitcoin solution, which we're going to discuss tonight because things have evolved since you've heard from me. But we have a solution. But part of that solution is we have to be very financially sound to go forward and do what we're going to do and build this global company that we're going to talk about here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. And so we are very financially secure. You may have one certain question for me, but I would not be doing this. I would not be on a phone call, and I would not be a part of a business that could not sustain for a very long period of time without sales, which we'll never do that, but without sales. And that's my plan. If you knew me and you knew my wife, I don't plan by the week and I don't plan by the month. I plan by the year, meaning that I look out for a year and say, okay, honey, we can go a year, no problem. We can go 2 years, no problem. We can go 3 years, no problem. That's how I really plan my life. So if I were to stop dead in my tracks, I know how long I could survive. So what's your follow-up question to that, Kris?
Well, that sounds really, really good. And you know, I've known you now going on a year. We've been talking back and forth. And Steve, I know that one of the things that you really hate to talk about, you know, is volume. You really don't like to give people a lot of information in that area just because it doesn't look good. It looks enticing. But if you had to give us an idea about volume, could you give us an idea about what maybe today looks like?
Well, first of all, I want to backtrack into that last question a moment. And I would like to think that you might have asked me, how many years could we go without one sale? And the answer is 5. That's what I want y'all to know. This company is financially sound and set up to do what we're about to tell you we're going to do. The next question you said is, you're right, I don't like to talk about volume. I don't do that game that people play. I can just tell you since about 10 o'clock this morning, we've done about $25,000 in business. And that's all I'm going to talk about on volume. Next question, Kris.
Yes, sir. All right, Steve. There's been a lot of things going on the net recently, and we're seeing a lot of KGX. We're seeing a lot of cryptogenics, and some people are just wondering, just who are we? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, I can. We're going to simplify things. It's part of our transition that's going to be covered in this call. We are KGX. Wow. That will be what this company is known as KGX. We will remove the cryptogenics name over the next month. And there's reasons for this. And the main reason is, it may seem simple to us, but if you try to spell cryptogenics and you're Japanese or Chinese or another language, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like Greek to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to KGX, and the company's name is going to be changed to KGX. And the way that's going to affect things is very little. The only thing that's really going to change, and it's not going to matter to you yet, and over the next few weeks you're going to see the change take place, we're going to add the name kgxglobal.com. So if you were Brandon at Cryptogenics or Brandon.cryptogenics, you'd be Brandon.kgxglobal.com. But we're not going to confuse anything. We're going to leave the Cryptogenics name in place, and we're going to forward over to KGX Global until that transition is complete to simplify this whole process. But we are KGX. That is who we are. That's who we're going to be. That's what we want to be known as from this day forward.
Phenomenal. I love that. So it really sounds like to me, Stephen, that we've been learning as we go. And, that's a great thing. We grow forward, right? So with that being said, what can our members expect KGX's vision to be? And how do you see that becoming a solution worldwide?
Okay. That's what we want to be. When we started the company, we thought it was all about education, and we were wrong. It is about education. Education is the first piece and the first critical key. But here's what we learned in the last 6-8 months. We learned that we can teach you about Bitcoin, but you can't hardly buy it. And so to all the people on this call who are very familiar with Bitcoin, hey, Bitcoin's easy, Bitcoin's simple. Bitcoin's not easy, and Bitcoin's not simple to the rest of the world, and we have to make it be that way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to announce that we're about to launch across the United States that we will start marketing Bitcoin ATM machines. Because here's the deal. Education, okay, I got education. Where do I get my Bitcoin? Well, we're going to build this global ATM system and market ATMs all across the world that specifically let you sell ATM machines to businesses or people in your area, and they'll put those ATMs in that area, and then people will be able to easily, simply go get Bitcoin. So what we learned in the last 6 or 8 months was you just can't teach them. You got to make Bitcoin more accessible. Well, and in the same period of time, what we learned was some people aren't going to really learn that well. And so you got to accept credit cards. And so we did, and we're accepting them in the United States right now. We're about to expand that acceptance. We just wanted to get that up and going first. And so we feel like if we educate the world, starting in the United States, that's really our start. And then we sell ATM machines across the U.S. and then expand globally, we can be the company that builds the global ATM network that's necessary for Bitcoin to take hold worldwide. Because as we all know, how complicated it's been to go to Coinbase or go here, go there, go to CoinMe. And it's like, man, what do I tell people to do? You should just be able to go to an ATM machine and get Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going to move into the world as a global currency, but it can't happen until the world's educated and it's easy to get access to Bitcoin. So that is our next move. Besides everything else we got going on, we are about to launch the Bitcoin ATM machines that you will be able to sell. So I want to follow up on something on a presentation thought here, Kris, that you and I have talked about. Yes, a lot of people are going, wait a minute, this was $300. What is this 3750 mining machine? Oh, what about this ATM machine? That's not how you look at this. The way you look at this is, it's $300. That's the deal. But what we're doing is we're adding these big ticket products that you can sell to others, that you will earn off of by selling to others. And that's what's very important is we don't want you to think we're trying to sell you a GreenX machine or we're trying to sell you an ATM. We're making these products available so we can build a sales force across the world and get the ATM system in place so Bitcoin can begin to move globally across the world the way that it's meant to.
Wow. So we're not just learning, we're changing as we learn, which is really, really cool. So, we've been talking about the Bitcoin rigs, the GreenX rigs. We've been talking about the coin. There's been a lot of excitement about that. Now you're talking to us about ATM sales. So, I'm just going to be that person that says, okay, Stephen, when can we start selling ATMs?
Okay, and I'm going to be the person.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait. There's two parts to that. tell me what that's going to look like.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've been talking with our leaders about that, and they've asked us we have it all programmed and ready. Contracts are in place. It's all ready to go. But our leaders want us to wait until the GreenX mining wallets go live, and that's very shortly. So as soon as the GreenX minings go live, so the GreenX is in place, then we can go and we'll launch the ATM market, and we'll start marketing those in the U.S. first and then across the world. So we're talking about very shortly, we'll start selling the ATMs. But we wanted you all to know what we were doing in the background, getting ready to go market, because you're right, we learned something. It's not just education. We've got to make the whole system work for America and the rest of the world for the system to work. It just doesn't exist yet. Just like when people got debit cards and people thought, well, they're going to have debit cards. And then you had those little things you could swipe them at the store and like, well, that's kind of weird. Well, they had to do that across the world before the credit card system could work. And that was in the 90s when they pushed those credit card boxes all across the world real fast. It's the same thing for Bitcoin. We've got to make Bitcoin accessible across the world. And so what we learned in the 6 months is we've got more to this project and plan than we ever expected, but we don't care. It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity, and a bigger opportunity. Because think about this. Think about, let's just say 20 years ago, you came up with the first ATM machines, and you began to put them in Walmarts, and you began to put them all over America, and you own the ATM network. That'd be pretty powerful. So let's go out and let's own the Bitcoin ATM network. Let's be the people who spread the ATM network and build that infrastructure across America and in the world. And let's become that company and those people. And let's educate the world as we go, because that's an intricate part of this.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Stephen, in our industry, we've got this thing. We don't need telephones and newspapers and stuff like that. We got this thing called a grapevine. And, the funny thing about the grapevine is you can hear a lot of stuff on it, but you never know what's true and what's not. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I've been hearing something about a promo. If there is a promo, what is it? And can you tell us when it's going to start?
Yeah, there is a promo, and I'm not going to give you the exact details of it today.
Okay.
But it started this morning, so nobody loses. It started this morning. And here's a kind of a quick overview of the promo, how it's going to look. And within the next week, we'll launch the promo. Basically, if you sell 10 GreenX mining rigs, not you by yourself, but you sell so many and your team sells so many, you'll get one free. Okay. So it'll be sell 10, get one free. And we're selling a lot of GreenX mining rigs. Now, we'll show you how that looks like in the next few days, because the lawyers are looking at it, who our law firm is, and they're finalizing their approval on how we can do this. And so it started this morning. So any GreenX mining rigs that were sold today counts. And so that starts adding up, and then we'll tell you whether you got to sell 2 yourself and then 8 in your team or whatever. We'll give you the details in the next few days. I don't want to confuse anything here, but basically it's sell 10, get one GreenX mining rig for free. And this promo starts right now, and it's going to go through Christmas.
Wow. So I know I put you on the spot. I apologize for that. But what you're telling me is everything that's sold today counts, and everybody that sold anything today is already in the promo.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Okay, Stephen, I just have one more question. I'm touched. I'm a little emotional. Glad to have you back. Really glad to have you back here on the phone with me. It's been a little while since we've been able to do these things, but I guess what probably everybody listening is wondering is, Stephen, are you back or you just visiting?
I was never gone. I was just sitting in the background for the last few months as this transition was going to have to take place, preparing this transition and keeping quiet until we could get through the transition. Yes, I'm back, but I was never gone, and I'm glad to be on these calls so we can start moving forward as KGX, because as of right this minute, we are KGX, and you will see major transitions. You'll see cryptogenics disappear from the website. It'll be KGX everywhere, and you'll see us move forward. And then just as soon as we are ready and the GreenX wallets go live, we already have all the programming in place, and we can start selling the Bitcoin ATM machines. So as you can see, I've been working in the background on some things, and there's other things, because we're going to be the Bitcoin solution. And what that means is we're going to be the cryptocurrency solution. We've got the pieces, but there's more pieces to this. There's a couple of other major projects that are going to make this world work, because there's stuff to do with Ethereum and ERC20 wallets and things like that. And so we're developing other stuff as major products for this company, because we are going to become the Bitcoin solution. Yeah, we've been at this now for 5-6 months, and we've done some pretty healthy volume, but we have not begun to build this company. It's kind of like when you had your first idea a long time ago and you wanted to build a business and you thought it was going to look like this, And then a year later, you don't even see a resemblance of what you thought it was going to look like, because it evolved itself to where it had to go to become the business that you wanted to build in the first place. And that's where we're at, and that's where I've been, is helping develop everything with my programmers in the background and waiting until the transition was complete, until Cryptogenics became 3 owners, and now we'll move forward as KGX.
Awesome. That, all I've heard on this call, Stephen, is nothing but positive, positive, positive. And I, for one, want to be one of the first to say thank you to you, Will, and Mike for, putting this together and bringing it to us, and just really giving us something to be proud of, something to be a part of, and a family to call home. So I know I said there was one more question. I fudged, okay? I forgot one. So I want to ask this because I know I want to get this squeezed in here before we get off the phone. I've been hearing a lot about, and we've been talking a lot about boot camps, but we really haven't been talking to the field about it. So can you tell us a little bit about boot camps? Are we ready for those?
Okay. Yeah. What we've done is, and that was part of becoming KGX. KGX is going to be a name that's now new and it's permanent. And so KGX will become known as that Bitcoin Bootcamp company. And so what we've done is we've hired a third party, more money. So we hired a third party who specializes in setting up conferences and events for us. And they're starting to build the schedule into the major market areas where they know they can bring the people, because we're going to use advertising and other means to bring people to see KGX and see this complete Bitcoin cryptocurrency package. So yes, they're working on the schedules right now. We're actually expecting there to be a few this fall, and then we'll really gear up at the first of the year to start doing boot camps. And what a boot camp is it's where 5 or 6 of us will fly into a major city. We'll have done advertising. We'll have a place for the boot camp, and we'll do a one-day boot camp teaching America first what Bitcoin is and how this all works together, and exposing them to ATMs and mining rigs and the whole system that it's going to take to put together the whole Bitcoin world, as we would call it. So that's the Bitcoin boot camps. That was a big part of what we've been working on in the background, and that's where KGX, we want that name KGX and Bitcoin boot camps to be synonymous together, and that's what we've been working on. So yes, it's all part of our plan.
Wow. So we're going to travel, we're going to teach people about BTC, and we're going to become the global Bitcoin solution. Man, that is mind-boggling. So before we end the call, there's a couple of notices, a little bit of house cleaning we need to do. Brandon and I are going to be putting together a new platform. You will be getting a company email with instructions for everyone, how you're going to log in. There will be one place that we conduct KGX business. Okay. You're going to have to accept to be able to get into this. So look for that email. Also, we want to thank everybody for taking their time out on a Monday night. I know on the East Coast it's getting a little bit late, but for everybody else, it's kind of on time. What we want to do is thank everybody and tell everybody that these calls you guys are getting used to, these Monday leader calls and these company update calls, they're going to continue to happen. Brandon and I have been working diligently behind the scenes. Thank you, Brandon, so much. If you can unmute, you're more than welcome to unmute. I don't have that ability at the moment. But what I want to say is that together we're going to work and bring you everything that you've been asking for, everything you've been wanting. You have a home. Cryptogenics is KGX. We are KGX. We're going forward. We're moving forward, and we're happy to be here. So, Stephen, I always like to give you the last words. Would you like to close us out, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hey, I want everybody to understand something. I love change. I don't like things to change too much, and neither do you. But I'm one of those people who thrive on change because it makes your blood flow and it makes you really engage yourself and get involved in what's changing. So over the last 6 to 8 months, well, obviously there was an exclamation point right here, and a lot of things just changed. And that's fine, because change is for the better. As long as we all know that we have the same goal, and we understand that the reason we have a company at all is a few. One is the leadership. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the networkers. I'm talking about the Brandons and the Dr. Lewis. And I'm not going to mention names. I got to stop. I mean, I could keep going with Rob and I keep going with Rick. But it's the leadership. The leadership can build this company if we did not exist at all. The leadership believes in this company, in this concept. And I'm talking about the network marketing leadership could build this whole thing without us, as long as they believe in the concept. And so I believe in the concept. I mean, you know, you risk your life when you go do this thing. And so we want you to win. We want everybody to win here. And we've had to make these changes to prepare this company to become what it's going to become. But it could not have been done without the Brandon Ivies. It could not have been done. They believe in this thing as much, if not more than us, and that's a strange statement to make, but that's how it is. And so we appreciate everything y'all have done to put this team together and get this thing ready to do what it's doing, and the volumes are good and everything's looking good. But now you understand that we are KGX, and we're going to move, and we're going to become the Bitcoin solution. There's a lot to this because there's a lot of pieces that every company out there in the world that's moving into cryptocurrency, they have to have these pieces. They have to have a Bitcoin core and understand it. They have to have ERC20 wallets and understand it. And until somebody can deliver that all to them with understanding, this thing cannot happen at the magnitude we want it to happen. So somebody's got to stand up and say, hey, we're going to do it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. So we are KGX. Thank you very much to all the leaders and the people on this call for believing in this company. You see the change. You'll see a lot more change over the next few weeks, but it's all positive to give you a better opportunity. And I want to touch one more time on what Kris had brought up. When he does presentations, he was concerned that he felt like we're doing a $300 deal and then we're trying to do a bait and switch to a GreenX machine or now an ATM machine. That's not what we're doing. We're bringing you in, and you can have a global company for $300 and get educated. And this just gives you more products to market to the global market to make you a greater opportunity in this company. That's what this is. There's no bait and switch here. It's $300. But a lot of people want 5 GreenX machines, are going to want 10 ATMs for all the stores they own in the Chicago area. And we're going to go market those products to these people. So thank you very much for coming to this call. I'm glad to be back on the calls as we begin to move forward. We are KGX. We appreciate you very much, and you are why we are the company that we're going to become. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you coming. Good night.
Thank you all.